The Asia-Pacific region is home to about half of the world's spoken languages. Out of about 6,800 languages spoken in the entire world, more than 3,500 languages are spoken here, employing variety of writing systems. 21 of the 30 most spoken languages are also from this region. In almost all the countries in the region, less than 10% of the population can communicate in English. The United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific recently published a report highlighting the contrast between the developed world and the developing Asia. Despite the fact that the number of internet users in the Asia and the Pacific region has increased sixfold, from 2 per 100 population to 12 per 100 population, it is still very low compared to the 43 in Europe and the 69 in the North Americas. The figure is even lower when we look at the internet users in the South and Southeast Asian countries. This is primarily due to non-availability of information technology in the local languages.
Only a fraction of Nepalis who are capable of using the computer for its data processing functions presently do so. Why? Because of the language barrier, the English barrier. So what do? Do you have a computer at home and use it only when you need to communicate in English? No, you've got to make sure that that computer in the office or in the home is used for the sake of Nepali society.
In different countries, like let's say I've called France, they have their own computer. When you turn it on, you have computer. You have French computer. It's everything's all in French language. Cambodia is not in that stage yet.
Pan-Asia Networking of the International Development Research Center of Canada is an ICT program that supports R&D projects to solve the digital divide issues in Asia. While everywhere has the digital divide issues, it is the large diversity of languages in Asia that dramatizes the problem. PAN recognizes this problem from very early on and has conceptualized the PAN Localization Project with the help of Dr. Samad Hussain of the Center for Research in Urdu Language Processing to help us solve the problem.
Internet population of the world crossed 1 billion people in 2005. Now the challenge is to bring next 1 billion people online. PAN Localization Project is designed to make this possible by developing skill set, technology and policy in the developing Asian region. This will enable people to access ICTs in their own languages. In this project, we are working on 15 languages across 11 countries in the region. Each language has its own problems and therefore requires a unique solution, and that's the real challenge.
For Sinhala type languages, we had to really dig deep because we didn't have linguistic knowledge, not much anyway. We had computing knowledge. So we had to really form a strong collaboration to find out how the language works. So that was one of the earliest problems, how languages work, how Sinhala language works. And in fact, 3 of our computer science students did a MA in linguistics to really get into this field.
The domain being quite new in Nepali, there were not enough readily available translations of technical terminology into Nepali. At times we even had to create new terminology to define what was the exact translation of the same term in English.
In Khmer language, the words do not have any space between them, and characters in a word can come from all directions.
In Japanese language, they mention that if we can solve the Khmer language, all the rest of the language in Asia will be no problem. And those applications that we have done is conversion from those fonts that use Latin code as the Cambodian fonts, and we do the sorting that in history we cannot do the sorting in Khmer words at all. and we can do word wrapping, and we do the spell checker according to our official dictionary.
The main is the Nepal Linux, which is a Linux operating system that's fully localized into Nepali. And it's not just a desktop operating system, it contains most desktop applications. It also has things like photo editing software, and then browser, an email client, a chatting client, games, and then we even sort of localized open source accounting software that could be used in Nepal. And similarly, I mean, there are a lot of educational tools, softwares as well, which are targeted more toward the school children.
Sri Lanka ventured into a more difficult domain of optical character recognition and text-to-speech system for Sinhala, which enables the computer to read out documents for the benefit of those who cannot read.
For the first 3 years, the project focused on development of basic technology in local languages that people can use. Now, having this technology in hand, the project is focusing on training common people to adopt the technology for their benefit. We are running diverse programs in partner countries to train different end-user groups like government officials, Buddhist monks, rural women, students, farmers, and we are training these groups to develop their own language content online. Looking at the enthusiasm and convenience of learning in one's own language, we are very hopeful that the project will make significant contribution towards bringing the next 1 billion people online.
This project is a pragmatic approach to the Asian problem and a practical solution for most of the Asian countries that is having problem with the issue of localization.
Fundamentally, this project was not about computers or equipment or even physical networks and physical resources, but it was about people.